Hey guys, it's Melissa Merritt with Web of Creativity and your Graphic 45 brand ambassador. This project I'm sharing with you today is using the Graphic 45 Bloom paper collection. It's an 8x8 pad, and with that and some black cardstock, I created this cute little happy birthday brag book, thinking of you card, and this cute little gift bag. So this video goes over how to make this brag book, and then at the end of the video it shows you how to make the card using the leftover paper. Now the bag I don't go over. That's just using the gift bag punch board from We Are Memory Keepers. So I'm going to set that aside. I just used some extra scrap paper that I had left over to make that cute bag. So for the brag book, we're going to open it up. This happy birthday right here is a Graphic 45 die from the Folders and Sentiment die set. Then we're going to go ahead and open it, and then area for photos, and then open it again. So I really like this layout. And then this is a beautiful paper collection. And then this just opens some more for photos, and each section is the same. And that's it. Just a cute little brag book with enough for about 15 photos. A little less if you decorate the pages like this with no photos. And a magnet closure. And then again, that's the first part of the video. I give you all the measurements and how to create this guy. And then the second part is making this cute little card. So this is a cute little set using the Bloom paper collection. So let's get started with the album. For the main album, we have 3 sheets. We have 4 3/4 by 10 1/4, 4 3/4 by 7 1/2, and 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. So we're going to take the longest piece first, and we're going to score it at 1/2 inch, 3/4, 7 3/4, and 8 1/4. Then for our second largest, which is our 7 1/2 piece, we are going to score at 1/2 inch and 3/4. And then the smallest one we set aside. Your next pieces are your 3 inside flat pages. So all 3 of these are 6 1/2 by 9 1/2. And we're going to place that on our scoreboard, and we are going to score this one at 3/8 of an inch and 5. Three eighths and 5. Going back to the 3 main pieces for the album, we're going to go to the 10 1/4 piece, and we're going to go ahead and fold on all the score lines going the same direction. And then we're going to take this 1/2 inch section, and we're going to taper from the score line at an angle. Then we're going to add our tape to this 1/2 inch section, creating a tab. Taking our 7 1/2 piece, we're going to fold the same direction on both of the score lines, taper the corners, and add tape to the tab. Then we're going to take, the smallest doesn't have a score line. Then we're going to take our flaps for the inside that are the 9.5 pieces, and we're going to fold them on the score lines, also going the same direction. And we're going to do that to all 3 of those. Alright, and then we're going to do the same thing we did to the other piece, and we're going to taper the corners from the score line up on that 3/8 inch section. And then we're going to take our tape and add tape to the tabs. Now for the album, because these tabs were 1/2 inch, I used my 3/8 inch score tape, but because these tabs are 3/8 inch, I'm going to use my 1/2 inch score tape, and I'm going to add tape. To all 3 of those. Going back to our main 3 pieces, we're going to take our 10 1/4 piece and our 7 1/2 piece. We're going to remove the tape from the tab from the 10 1/4 piece. We're going to line this guy up. I'm going to move it so I can see it. Line it right up at that score line, not going over the score line, evenly at the top and bottom. So it didn't go over the score line, so this still moves. And then I'm going to repeat by removing the tape off of the tab and taking my 6 3/4 inch piece right up to that score line. And now that is our base, so it folds, folds. There we go. Now we're going to take our 3 flaps and attach them. So what I'm going to start with is we're going to attach the tab folded and flush to the top evenly between the 2 score lines. But because I need to see this better, I'm going to flip this upside down so I can line it up evenly. So I'm going to remove my tape. And again, line it between the 2 score lines, flush to the top. And that's going to be about 1/4 inch on both sides on that first flap. So this is going to fold, and then this is going to go like that. I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to give it another run with my bone folder to give that good crease. So this section, your first section, is a little bit bigger than the other 2. But we're going to go ahead and attach to the center. So the spacing on both sides are going to be a little bit smaller than that, 1/8 inch. So you can see I have it centered, and then this folds. Okay, that is the basis of this album, and now we can just go ahead and decorate our pieces. And I do add a magnet closure for this flap to keep this all combined. But look, you got plenty of space for your papers and your pictures. We we are going to start with the magnets, and then I'm going to mat the album using the Bloom paper collection from Graphic 45. So for the magnet, I'm going to center it on the inside flap. I'm just eyeballing where the center is. And then I'm going to take a piece of tape. Add the tape here. Place my second magnet, and I added a little piece of tape on that, so when I close it, it'll be even, and I'm just checking where that spot's going to be on the, ooh, I'm fuzzy, come on, and then my magnet goes over here. It's clearing up, and then I'm going to add my piece of tape here. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to leave the cover to last, and we're going to go ahead and cover the inside flap and then the next flap. And the inside flap is 1 3/4 by 4 1/2. And this section right here for this mat is 6 1/2 by 4 1/2. Now I've inked the edges with Distress Oxide Vintage Photo. Now I'm using tape on my mats, and then what I like to do is just add a little bit of extra ATG to the center piece of my mat, and then attach. So all these mats are leave a 1/8 inch border all the way around in the section that you're going to be matting. Okay, and then I'm going to add my ATG. And attach centered. Just like so. Alright, next we're going to mat the inside flaps. So the front of each flap I have as this with the same paper, and then I'm going to put some decorations on top, and then on the inside there's going to be different papers with just the matting for your pictures. So all three of these are all the same size, and that's 6 1/4 by 4 3/8. Ink the edges, and then I'm going to attach them like so. For the inside, so the only difference between the inside on the bottom section is this last section. Oh, look at that light. The last section is a little bit bigger because it's our body. So for the last section is going to be 6 3/4. Let me double check. 6 3/4 by 4 1/2. So it's going to be that section right here, and then these two right here is the 6 1/2 by 4 1/2, and that's for both of the sections. So these two are identical. This one's a little bit bigger, and then these flaps are all the same. With these flaps, this section right here is a little bit bigger. They're the same size as this section here, and then these two are a little bit smaller, so that fits inside when folding. So the front and the back of this guy is 6 1/4 by 4 1/4. So there's two of those, and then on the inside right here is 6 1/4 by 4 3/8. And I will double check those measurements. Yep, 6 1/4 by 4 3/8. Okay, so then I'm going to cut out all of my mats and which I've already done, and then I'm going to attach them. I will say that I used the same paper for the inside for each section, and then added a different piece on the top. I liked the continuous look of the inside. And then I really like this one. This one's pretty, but all of these papers are so pretty. So those are all my mats. I'm going to go ahead and attach them off camera. For decorating the front of 3 flaps, I have these strips that I made for each flap section here. The black border strip is 6 1/4 by 1 inch, and then the pattern paper is 6 1/4 by 7 1/8. Then for the middle one, I have these 4 pieces. So the black is the border for each of the pattern sheets. And the bloom is part of the paper collection cutouts. And then that goes right in the center there. So for these, I had to cut a little bit of this a little bit smaller, just so it would fit with the layers that I have. So starting with the large piece is 3 by 4 1/4, and then the pattern paper is 2 7/8 by 4 1/8. The black is 2 5/8 by 3 7/8, and then the bloom is 2 3/8 by 3 3/4. And what I did was give the black border is about 1/16 of an inch around the pattern paper, and then the blue pattern paper is about 1/8 of an inch border. So that's going to go on the center, and then both of the side pieces get a little piece as well. So we got that guy that's going to go over on that side, and then this one that's going to go on the other side. And these are the same pieces. This is a cutout, and again I had to cut that just a little bit smaller to make it fit. So the black is 3 by 2 3/8. The blue pattern paper is 2 7/8 by 2 1/4. The black paper is 2 5/8 by 2. And then the cutout piece is 2 1/2 by 1 7/8. And that's going to be the same thing with the black border being about 1/16 of an inch border, and the pattern about 1/8 of an inch border. And that's how I'm going to decorate the inside covers, like that. So I'm not going to attach them on camera. I'm going to go ahead and go and attach them off camera, and I did the same by inking the edges with the Distress Oxide Vintage Photo. Alright, the next we're going to do is decorate the cover. I have this in pieces, but if you want a full-size mat, the front cover would be 6 1/2 by 4 1/4. And the flap here would be 1 3/4 by 4 1/2. And that cover would be 1/8 inch of border all the way around. For my pieces, it only has a border at the top and bottom, and it goes for the full width of the front and the full width of the flap. So the front is 6 3/4, and then the flap is 2 inches. So for my strips, I start with 1 inch pieces, again for the flap and for the front. Then I have a 3 inch black piece. Then I have 2 decorative strips. They're 1/2 inches, 1/2 inch. And then I have, let me just trying to mimic. Then I have a black piece that's 2 1/4, and the green piece that's 2 inches, and that goes right on top of there. And then I top it off with Happy Birthday in black cardstock, and that's from the Folders and Sentiment die set from Graphic 45. So this is how I'm going to decorate my front cover and ink the edges and tape it all together. So I'll be right back. And here's the completed cover. Looks good. Okay, for this section of the video, we're going to discuss making the card. The card starts with a 6.5 by 10 inch piece scored at 5 inches, so it's scored in half. And then our pieces are, our black cardstock is 6 1/4 by 3 1/4. The mat that goes on top of it is 6 1/4 by 3 1/8. Then we have our strips that go behind it at the top and bottom, and those are 6 1/4 by 1 inch. Then our other little pieces, we have, this is part of the cutout of the collection, and it's 1/4 of an inch. And then the black is 3/8 of an inch. Both are 6 1/4. And then our little pieces right here, we have our black is 3 1/8 by 2 3/8, and the blue is 3 by 2 1/4. And then we have 2 3/4 by 2 inches, and the cutout is roughly 2 5/8 by 1 7/8. So that is what our card is going to look like. So I'm going to go ahead and ink the edges with the Distress Oxide Vintage Photo, and then attach all the pieces to the card. So we start off by attaching everything to the black backgrounds, and then with the 1 inch strips we attach the top and bottom, and we give that a little bit of a 1/8 inch border. Next is going to be our biggest piece, and then that's going to get attached right in the center. I'm going to add a little extra ATG. And then we're going to center. Next, we're going to take this strip and attach it 3/4 from the bottom of the black mat. Use my ruler as a guide. And we're going to go ahead and attach the Thinking of You right to the center of my blue piece. And we're going to attach it to the card. Center. I'm going to go ahead and take my ruler. Figure out my center point. It's about there. There we go. And there's our card. Alright, that concludes our video. We got this cute little happy birthday brag book, Thinking of You card, and then with my scraps I made this cute little gift bag with leftover paper. And this little gift bag I used the We Are Memory Keepers gift bag punch board. So I didn't continue the video making this. I just used some scrap papers just to make this cute little bag to go with this little collection right here. For more videos and tutorials, please visit my blog at www.webofcreativity.net. Thank you for watching.